Let us play a video game. And away we go. And we had just reached the third floor of the facility. Access denied. Oh, really? We'll see about that, won't we? Let's see. Okay. We're here. That's the elevator where we came in. Louise Decker Schultz. There's Louise. Oh, open this door up there. It's quietly, almost inaudibly. In a dim room saturated with pale lamplight, you see a woman. She's sitting on a bench, head in her hands. Indistinct words blurring into sobs reach her ear. She listened closely. The woman is saying, "It's your bright and tiny spark. It's the traveler in the dark." Her voice is shaking and she won't lift her head. Knock gently on the wall so as to not startle her. When she stops singing and slowly lifts her head, she flinches a little when she sees you well. Raising her Kara's flashlight, she examines you anxiously. Her silver uniform, go Silvers. Covered with spray of mud and blood, her badge is torn off and in its place a bloody handprint has been swiped across her whole chest.
I'm all ears.
Silver lowers her communicator and turns the flashlight off while keeping an eye on you. You weren't mad. You weren't from here. Tell her Ginsburg mentioned a woman named Decker and asked if that's her. The woman fiddles with her hair, trying to smooth it back from her face. Decker Schultz. Louise Decker Schultz. Silver one. Magellan base. Silver awkwardly rises to her feet. I reckon you're from the mission team. Well, as the expedition leader, I'll bring you up to date. The mission has failed. The technician is dead, a guard disappeared, and the orange ran off, and the white is slowly going mad. That's my short report on the mission results. If you need more information, feel free to ask. I asked for an account of the situation from the start. You really want to hear what it was like? We arrived before the storm, 9:20, I believe it was. The connection was already lost by then, and there was something wrong with the people. No, not something. Everything about them. Seymour Hobbs, head of security, he greeted us, reported the communication with Magellan were down and needed to be restored from the comm center on the third floor. He gave me the details, just said there was a problem. Hobbs took us to the third floor, then back upstairs. Maria went to the command center, and these people, they just rushed us. They devoured Maria. Bob shot several of them, locked the rest in the hallway. They're just weird. They don't seem to feel pain at all. What else is there to say? Now I'm here. Ginsburg yelled at me and ran away. Bob went for help, said that until he arrived we should talk to Hobbs, activate isolation mode, and seal the bunker. He still hasn't returned, and Ron, nothing's going on with him. Didn't I mention that yet? Did I? I keep forgetting things. Ask about the group member's fate. Schultz looks away with you red and tearful eyes. How'd the technician die? She barely manages to compose herself. We were one that they ate her. And the black who went missing? Decker was already thoroughly dejected, but now her face grows darker. It was he who gave me the order, sent me to find help. Hey, Vorp! He was still able to contact us when we reached the surface. Then it was too noisy and the connection was lost. He never replied. Tell her you found Bob's body at the entrance to Nashville. No, that. Tears are streaming down her face. Starts fanning herself with one hand. Oh my, a dose of the vapors. Bob was the only one I could rely on. Asked Schultz about the orange who fled. The administrator's tear-stained face freezes in a grimace of distaste. Bastard. Glad he's gone. Where'd I put my gun? Have you seen it? Find out more about the scientist who's going mad. She glances at the closed door. It started as soon as we got here. He saw these people and started laughing. He kept laughing and saying, Sarovsky was right. He'd approached people and touched them. I realized he was off his rocker right away. I locked him in that hall. Figured it'd be safer that way. Asked about Sarovsky. Doesn't matter all that much right now. Look what's going on here. Does it really matter what that madman was thinking? Talk. Okay, he's over there behind the door. You can talk to him when we're done. We covered everyone? I think we covered everyone. I'm not a scientist or a doctor. I don't know what's going on here, but I do know that according to protocol, we have to contact our superiors at Magellan first chance we get for further instructions. How can I contact Magellan? When they ate Maria, we locked the door to the comm center. Take the key. Restoring the connection is the top priority now. Excuse me, I feel weird. I think I have a fever and my head is just throbbing.
Good luck.
That's Ronald Steele. There's everyone else here. That's Ronald Steele. That's the video phone terminal. Is that conference hall? Computational center. Control terminal. Computational center. Storage. Office. Dining hall. It's the comm center. That's the control. Conference hall. Video phone. See if we've got any more info here. Silver, she was eaten. Black disappeared. White is locked in the next room since he's lost his mind. Well, you make it sound like lost his mind is a bad thing. That's just your judgment, man. I can use relics. I should probably use one like this. Ah, science, guys. And that will probably be yet another scam phone call. I've gotten 4 today, I think, so I will mute it. No, in fact, it's this repeated message. My brother is currently in rehab for a physical disability. And they apparently, one of the other people in rehab has gotten tested positive for COVID, and they keep calling with this incredibly badly scripted, repetitive message to tell me that my brother he doesn't have the COVID, but somebody there does. This is the 3rd one today. The door's Selectron port was clumsily broken at some point. You can hear the quiet drone from behind the door. A small silver plate reading computer room points at the source. I don't have perception 7, so I can't check on that one. I knock on the door, call to the person in the other door. Step back. I'll knock, because I'm polite. Hear footsteps from the room, quiet but heavy.
Forgot something.
The man locked inside approaches the door. Is that you, Louise? Open the door already. Enough of this idiocy. For once, try being a professional. I'll introduce myself. I'm glad to meet you. I'm glad to hear you aren't Louise. As you can see, she and I aren't quite hitting it off. Ronald Steele, White Wing. I'm a member of the expedition crew, apparently a former member. My colleague decided I was dangerous and locked me in here. Look, I don't have time to prove I'm normal. Just open the door. We don't have much time. I'll discuss this with Louise and leave. I already tried discussing this with Louise. To no avail. Whatever, go ahead. Tell Louise you should probably release Steele. Are you insane? He's like the others in the corridor. He's mad. Do you understand the risk? Rudely demands you. Remind Louise that you're in charge now, and she has to obey your orders. I'm sure that'll work really well. Are you going to lecture me? The emergency protocol. Yeah, you think I don't know that? She approaches the door, presses the select onto the broken panel. Flashes. The Silver returns to her bench, keeping her eye on the door as they slide open. The person who emerges from the dark computer room looks nothing like a scientist. His broad shoulders and military bearing resemble those of an elite forces officer. Only the silver badge that says Ronald Steele, physicist, and the lab uniform suggests that he works for the White.
Hello again.
It's nice to see living people for a change. Even you, Louise. She's watching him intently. He snorts a laugh. She snorts a laugh. You think you looked normal? You were laughing and chanting, Swarovski is right, Swarovski is right. That's because Swarovski was right. Everything he said was right. This halo eye effect isn't an autonomous phenomenon. It's a link in a chain of symptoms. If anyone but his colleagues listened to Gabriel, none of this would have happened. He spreads his arm in agitation. His angry outburst ends as quickly as it started. Anyway, let's decide what we're going to do. We're sitting on a proverbial ticking time bomb. What do you propose? He looks from Louise to you. Let's stick to the protocol. First of all, you contact Magellan when the main phase of the operation began. He takes a twice-folded piece of paper out of his pocket. I did the calculations. It turns out that the base is in kind of a bubble. The strength of the radiation inside the bubble is uneven, and the nature of the wave propagation suggests that the source is down there in the excavation zone. Steele nods at the door to the computer room. When I was done with my calculations, I found some notes regarding relic excavation. Apparently they did find something, not quite ordinary. Just put 2 and 2 together and come to a conclusion that finding caused all this. How do I get contact Magellan Station? All the complexes are built alike, and the security measures are similar. Take the left corridor, find the main computer, disable the final protocol, and re-establish the connection. There must be a conference hall nearby. It actually meant for communication within bases. You can contact Magellan from there. What was found during the excavation? I can't say for sure. They assembled a special research crew to study that relic, or rather they were planning to do that. Everything happened too fast. Is it dangerous to approach the radiation source directly? Staying here is just as dangerous as touching that thing with your hands. The white calms you down. How do I get to the excavation area? Yeah, good question. Turn right and follow the corridor. You'll find an elevator that'll take you there. It's supposedly blocked, but you can run it with the master key. It's in the shape of a card, usually kept by one of the employees. I'd try searching the residential level first. Good. Let's go, Louise. Let's go, quick. Louise, are you ready? I can see you're not feeling well, but you need to pull yourself together. Louise? Decker Schultz says in, crows, she says in a resounding voice. What do you mean? She lifts her head. Rings of light are beginning to flicker in her eyes. Did you see how many of them flocked to Nashville? Some even managed to make it down here. You and Steele exchange looks. Yep, she's gone bonkers. A grimace of frustration spreads over the white's face. Shit, let's hurry up. The relic is down here. It's down there somewhere. Okay. Alright, I'm here. That's the computer room where I need to break through the the final state, and then use the video filter. Oops! There are people who don't like me! My psychic powers are strong. Ow. 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 Hey, that was really unpleasant. 29. Gotta take her out, I think. Two down. The other one's gun was really bad news.
Some outsider.
Arr! Missed me. Okay, that one didn't miss. That one missed. You know, I didn't want to do that. They made me. Guess I can't scan the ones I just killed. That's kind of disappointing. Morning Dunes beer. Ace Griffin hard-boiled thriller. Smokes. Oh, close enough. Airplane. Belt item. Perception and psyche. Ooh, it's a drug. I've already got one of those, but we will take the energy cells. Some more money. Fixer for 3 turns. Gel, smart, nanoparticles. Sure. And we'll take the bolts. I will search the large container because it's a large container. Duh. High capacity power cell. Okay. Air gun powerlet. No, I'm not going to go with any of the air guns. I've got a couple of different kinds of guns. That ought to be sufficient. Alright, let's check the computer. Ominous red lines flashing on the screen. Main menu. Emergency protocol. Isolation mode. Attention, turrets are active. Doors are locked. Connection with Concord Station is disabled. Please select an option from the following menu. Unlock, cancel emergency protocol. Uplink, re-establish communication with Concord Station. Okay, we'll unlock. We will uplink. And log out. So now I should be able to go into the comm center and talk. There's another person in a suit, just like mine. And there's another person near in the far end too. Borman. She has strong psychic radiation and distracting looks. Oh, we had somebody else over there. I didn't even see them. That was a lot of fatigue.
Covered our places with their scent.
Rushes to the rescue, strong psychic irradiation and distracting looks.
Oh. There is outsider radiation everywhere. Someone passed through here, scattering their light around. Ow!
No problem. Got them all. Easy, also peasy. Coffee? No, I'm good. Weapon parts. Sure. Sterile bandages, energy cells. Yeah. Charles Quixote. Electrical equipment. Spare parts. Terminal doesn't have any useful info. Let's check the military-grade med kit. That usually has Energon, or Energon, And medkits. Oh, nice medkits. That's really nice. Alright, let's use the video phone.
The white noise on the screen is replaced with pulsating blackness and a remote echoing beep. Connection established. In a few seconds, Kingsley's face appears on the screen. The Silver adjusts his glasses.
Come in. C12-Nashville. Kingsley speak. Oh, that's you. Good to see you.
Kingsley clicks his retractable pen and shifts closer to the camera.
Report.
Inform him of the dead bodies at the entryway and the people gone mad. Tell him the situation isn't clear yet, but something gravely serious must have happened. Report that Nashville's in the middle of an anomalous zone and strange maelstroms raging above. Report the parking lot turrets were switched to aggressive mode to solve the problem. I'm going to inform him dead bodies at the entryway and the people have gone nuts.
The chief officer listens to the casualty report without interrupting. He's visibly shaken. Once you finish speaking, Kingsley gets lost in thought, biting the end of his
He's a
pen.
pin biter.
If there's anything else I need to know, you may add it to your report.
He finally starts speaking, his voice soft and emotionless.
I'm going to report, well, the parking lot turrets were switched to aggressive.
The Silver jots something down on a sheet of paper.
So they're no longer a danger for the rescue group. Very good.
The situation isn't clear, but something gravely serious has
You
happened.
describe recent events. Martin convulsively jots everything down in his notepad. The Silver wipes his forehead with a silk handkerchief, fidgeting.
Good grief. Is there anything else?
Nashville's in the middle of an anomalous zone and a strange maelstrom is raging above the...
Kingsley seems to perk up a little when he hears of the maelstrom.
Did you examine it? Was it moving?
I don't have anything...
Never mind.
I don't have anything else
Anything
to add
else?
to my sit rep, as, we tactical guys call it.
Director Kingsley flips a page in his notepad, nervously tapping his pen on the desk.
Duly noted. Well then, the news is unsettling. But what about the crew? Have you found them? If it's not an issue, could you update me on each member of your group?
Ronald Steele, the White, is fine and now helping me with the investigation.
The Silver jots something down.
I don't doubt for a second that Ronald is doing exactly that. Man's a true professional.
Louise Decker-Schultz appears to have lost her mind.
Kingsley takes off his glasses and rubs his forehead with apparent exhaustion.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Tim Ginsburg, the Orange, has deserted and is currently trying to escape
The
space.
director sighs angrily.
When the investigation is underway, I'm certain they'll ask me why I deployed someone like that for the task.
Robert Mayland Black is dead, and I've seen
The
his
chief
body.
officer puts his pen on the desk and sits back in his chair, his gaze empty and detached.
I'm sorry to hear that. Do continue.
And
He
Maria
struggles
Werner,
to
the
reply.
Blue, is dead. Eaten by everybody else in the place.
Kingsley presses his palms against his temples.
I beg you, don't put yourself at risk unless the situation absolutely calls for it. We can't afford any more casualties.
I don't have anything else to report about the crew.
Once your report is over, Director Kingsley becomes lost in thought.
First of all, I need to apologize. On behalf of the corporation and myself, forgive me. I shouldn't have sent a new employee on this task.
No
His
shit,
voice
Sherlock.
sounds oddly dull. Martin wipes his glasses with a red handkerchief.
Your report seems to suggest we're facing something incredibly dangerous. I always tend to follow my instructions to the letter. In this case, the instructions say you should stay where you are and wait for rescue. But sadly, I know what we're dealing with.
Well, that is not a cheering sound.
Kingsley puts his glasses on and looks at the screen.
I'm sorry I couldn't give all the details. Nashville is a high-security facility. But I guess that's not important anymore. A certain relic resulted in what you are witnessing right now. In the last couple of days, we've been receiving reports of staff suffering a rapidly deteriorating mental state. And now everything's culminated in this.
The Silver sighs raggedly.
Take action. Go down to the excavation area and find this relic. Bury it, disarm it, destroy it. Do whatever you think appropriate. I'll send a rescue team right after we're done here. But regardless, act. Do not hesitate, and good luck to you.
I'm gonna yell at him. It's his fault.
You don't have time to express your anger. The connection is interrupted. You're yelling at an empty screen. Nothing but black
I'm
and
gonna
white
remember.
ripples.
I'm taking notes about this. I'm going to have words with his superior. I think I clearly need a save here. Where is the elevator? That's the main. That's where I came in. That's the one to the excavations.
Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place.
What else do we have? Any other people? I don't think there are any other people around. Oh, there are. They are undoubtedly. Yeah, they're mental. So I'll leave them in their little mental location. Another guy. Mental person over there. The open elevator platform is covered in dirty boot prints. No doubt about it, this elevator leads to the excavation site. There's a note taped to the adjacent wall. Something's written on it in a lined sheet of notepaper. Return the master key to the reception desk. The master key is not your property. It is the only means of doing a hard reset of the elevator systems in case of emergency. By removing the master key for personal use to pose a threat to the safety of all Nashville employees. Please return the key. Thank you for understanding. Read what's penciled in below. You notice something scribbled with a pencil beneath the official. Jan took the key. Jan. Jan. I don't see a Jan on the list. So I've got to find Jan. Let's see if we can... Tereda, Pablo, Douglas. None of those are Jan. It's Victor Rozalewski. Where's the door for those guys? Right there. Okay, well, I can scan.
Attention. Please handle relics carefully.
Oh, this is where I came in.
In case of damage,
I've already,
your life will be forfeit.
Yeah. Did they say Jan was upstairs? I thought they did. That's Thomas White. John Clausewitz. Nope. Lock them in, and I guess we head upstairs.
Attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of
Head back up to the second floor. think they said they were on first. Go to level 1 first. Double check that. No, I don't think so. I think this is all clear. Tim Ginsburg. He doesn't appear to be mental. Doesn't appear to be mental. That's the orange who was running away, right? See what he's got to say. How do I get in with him? Oh, right there. Standing beside the fallen elevator, Ginsburg resembles a Christmas tree. A few chains are dangling from his neck. He's wearing a lady's gold watch on his
Why
left
do you
wrist.
keep bothering me?
He levels a gun at you with practice motion. Oh, it's you. Things are looking shit around here. The elevator's crashed and I haven't found any other exits so far. Maybe you know where to find one.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be
I suggest that it might be possible to get out through the air shaft. Lips twist in a bitter expression. No, it's not. I tried. There's this yellow smoke filling the shaft. I don't know about you, but I'm not going back.
remember, our honest work will make the world a better
Later.
place.
I will leave him to his own devices. He's got a gun. See no reason to push my luck. Alright, so we're looking for, I believe it was Louise. That's the air shaft. Residential area. Alright.
Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage,
Who am I looking for again? That. Jan, I think it was. That's Melissa.
attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully.
Alright, I believe I've turned off the
Damage,
turrets.
your life will be forfeit.
Jan. Or Jan. Looks like it's Jan, not Jan. They are psychotic, but he gives a pep talk. I'm sure they're fine, really. Man is standing beside the open refrigerator, lost in thought. Well, many's the time I've opened the refrigerator and stood there for 15 minutes trying to figure out what the hell I wanted to eat. He's holding the door, mumbling to himself. His eyes are glued to the shelves, unblinking. Examine the man. This is a ruddy, robust, blonde man whose badge says Jan Kovacs, mechanic. If he wasn't ignoring you so persistently, I'd say he's doing just fine. Take a look in the refrigerator. The shelves are empty. There's nothing there. Not even some expired canned stuff. Whatever the man sees exists only in a land of imagination. Except there's a key card on the bottom shelf. Take the key card. A typical key card that grants access to restricted areas. It might come in handy. The fridge's owner completely ignores you just like before. Thanks, dude. Have fun with that. Have a great day. Elevator, down to the 3rd level. Here, and we're heading down to the excavation. Dun dun dun. Actually, let me talk to Ron Steele. Hi, Ronnie.
Oh, you
Ready?
again.
I took a reading. Background radiation is increasing, albeit slowly. Let's hurry this up.
Goodbye.
Maybe I can get him to come with me.
Forgot something. Later.
Louise? Her pale lips barely move as if numbed by an anesthetic. A thin stream of saliva stretches down from her chin. Okay, she's decided to check out. She's done for the week. Nashville 12. Down to the excavation site where the relic has turned everyone into zomboids. Not zombies, but zomboids. That presumably is the relic. Me. Got Ronald. Oh, Ronald and Louise have come down. Okay, good. Excavation zone lighting control panel and a mobile generator. Well, I think it's important that I make sure that there's no extra goodies just standing around. Boxes. Locked. Boxes. Locked. Excavation zone power circuit terminal. Turned on the power. Check on that in a second. Ooh, a different kind of electrokinetic psi glove. It's got a lower crit modifier. It doesn't look like it'll jam. It does less damage. Psionic Weapons Technical Manual. Allows you to perform an upgrade. Ooh, nice. Relic Dust. Can I scan Relic Dust? No. The briefcase locks here were hastily and clumsily busted. There are no relics. Some briefcases were untouched. Looks like the robbers simply didn't have enough time to finish the job. Empty relic storage. Well, they say empty, but you can't really tell unless you look. You know? See? Oh, I don't want that. Relic dust, handful of earth. We want to drop that. How do we drop it? Like that. Nothing in there. Stack of documents, no thanks. Trying to cut down on my documents, you know, they're high in calories. Locked. Insufficient ability score, insufficient ability score. Yeah, presumably those were the same. The medical center is not in the best of shape, but military-grade medkit. See if we can't get some more Atox antidote. That seems like a good thing. I don't even know what it is, but it seems like a good thing. She cut herself with the wind, so I was told. Crazy people talking crazy. Okay, that's really not a surprise. Examine unknown glowing relic. can't scan it, though. Why can't I scan it? I should be able to scan it, damn it.
Yes?
Ronald seems calm, almost succeeds, but his eyes betray his exhaustion. Yeah, you need help? We're to search for the relic. Well, presumably it's the big round thing out in the front. He looks at the handheld display. The wave pattern has evened out, meaning there's almost no natural obstacles between us and the radiation source. Go ahead and search for it. We're close. Do you know anything? Is there anything I should know about the relic? He hesitates before replying. Nothing save for the strange report I saw in the computer system. It was compiled by a physiologist from Nashville who observed the halo eye symptoms in himself. He chews on his lips. The report's author states they found something alive in this cave. The relic communicated with him and kept talking until the medic completely lost his marbles. Shadow of a doubt is apparent. A skeptical and crooked smile. Don't take these hallucinations at face value. It's just something for you to keep in mind. How's Louise? Moves a flashlight over the Silver's face. Louise's unfocused gaze listlessly tries to follow the yellow light. I'm no doctor, but I think she's getting worse. You gonna help me find the relic? He nods at Louise. Would you like me to drag her all around the excavation area? Here's what we'll do. Once you locate the relic, just take a quick look at it and call me right
See you
away.
later.
We've got a pile of crystals. Sure. Fiber optic cable. And electrical equipment. At some point, presumably, I'll be able to craft with some of this stuff. There. What's up in this room? Excavation zone power circuit terminal. Another one. Got two of those already turned on. Presumably we're going to need them all, but I don't know that. Requires a scanner. Oh, well, I can scan that. It's an overturned server. Nice. Delicious. And nutritious. I have maximum psychic irradiation too, and flatulence from the beans I ate the other day. I still have the farts. The toots. Scientific zone power circuit terminal. Let's take a look at that. Even in the future, we'll have duct tape. Of course, this isn't actually the future. This is 1976. That's where it came in.
Does your servo shell have any forefather parts? Asking out of purely scientific interest here.
Alright, we've turned on 3 of those. Before we head down, let's go ahead and do another quick save, you know? Yeah. Lucky 13. I have been consumed by darkness. That's, not real great. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that was bad. He says there's no you. to see what abilities I get from that second psionic device that I picked up. (24-32). Castling Energize. Strengthens the targeted ally if they're within 10 meters, increasing all damage they do by 25% and giving an extra 2 AP for 3 rounds. So it's doing 24-32. I think that's more damage than the other one was doing. Yeah, 21-25. So we're definitely switching over to this where the base damage is just going to be better. And we have the Psi Shock for straight damage. We have Castling. Swap places. And then Energize. I should be able to energize myself. But the question is, how am I not going to die when I go out there?
Yes. Goodbye.
Because I tried going out there and it did a lot of damage to me. I'll try again. Consumed by darkness again. So I have to say I am not a fan of being consumed by darkness. What am I missing? Excavation zone. Lighting control panel. That might be it. Perhaps some lighting would help. Call me crazy.
Enabling lighting in the excavation zone. Warning. Damage to power system detected. Start the emergency generator.
Okay. Do we have an emergency generator appearance anywhere here? No. Oh, mobile generator. All right, it's out there. This is the blue land. I'm being consumed by darkness. That's not good. Consumed by darkness is bad. I'm taking a lot of darkness damage. I've got a first aid kit somewhere. Yeah, med kit. Consumed by darkness again. That's not good. That's not what I wanted. Interesting. So some places, as long as you're in the light, you're not getting consumed by darkness, but you gotta kind of get consumed by darkness in between.
Lighting enabled. Have a nice day, employee.
Thank you. I will try. If I can hit the light fast enough, that's fine then. Alright. I'll get consumed by darkness, but it won't actually do any damage. showing up as relics that I can scan. But he just, I think all my quest was... Louise could not endure the effects of the unidentified and went crazy. Even still suffered the same fate if we don't hurry. And just turn on the side, you can continue your search. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to search it or just get close to it.
This amber orange ball hovering above the scientific equipment connected to it seems to be the reason for what happened in Nashville. You can feel the waves of anomalous radiation emanating from it with your whole body. A pleasant tingling rolls through your skin, and each wave fills your head for a mere moment with strange, rapidly fading images. Without taking your eyes off the sphere, you move closer.
I can use the connected equipment to stabilize the relic state.
You bend toward the equipment. It's possible the slight electric current being emitted somehow stimulates the artifact's activity, so you decrease the voltage. The cooling system is working 1/2 throttle, so you bring it up to 85%. These measures should reduce the anomalous radiation intensity. At least, that's what you're hoping for. You suddenly begin to feel numb. The prickling in your hands and the anomalous radiation pressing against your head grow weaker, but a frightening sensation rises in their stead. An unknown force detaches you from your body and takes you up into the cool, ringing silence. The maelstrom hanging above Nashville embraces you. All of your consciousness unfolds like a giant canvas, hurling you into a dark auditorium. You see the maelstrom swirling over Nashville. Pulling you from the crumbling walls of the base, it lifts your mind above the world.
I'm tripping balls?
It covers the lands of the dome like a gigantic spot, in the swirling shadow of which the lights of human consciousness flicker. Some of them fade away, barely in contact with the maelstrom. Others grow dimmer and blink painfully. Some glow with a strange, cold light. Gaining strength, the maelstrom, rushing westward, comes crashing down onto the southern lands of the dome, leaving behind hundreds of fluttering and slowly fading lights.
Humans?
After sweeping out Concord and Spire Station, the maelstrom finally calms down. It hangs in the very center of the dome, like a majestic, lazily swirling vortex. And your mind
I'm not enthused
rushes
about
within it like a shining spark.
Okay.
It takes you some time to realize that you're wandering through a fog.
I'm in an unknown place.
Eventually, the dull, white nothingness begins to dissipate, slowly returning you to reality. A noise fills your ears, a rumble resembling the sound of waves rolling ashore. You step carefully through the white haze. Fragile bits of rock crackle under your feet. Vague shadows appear from the mist over your head. Breached concrete plate bristling with exposed armature. The dusty drill of an earth mover lying on its side. Yellowed documents, boxes. Crushed steel closets that tumble down through gaps in the floor. The space beneath your feet resembles thick but perfectly transparent ice. A vortex of clouds spins slowly below, the lights still flickering. They're the same lights you saw when you first touched the sphere. The lights are actively moving, wandering, gathering. Iridescent, they form both small and large groups, and the desert far below changes, following their pattern. Settlements appear in the north, in the east, in the west,
Sounds
and
like
even in the dull
I'm-
yellow barrens of the south.
I'm rushing
They
forward
grow
in time.
right before your eyes, as if time were moving ahead at
See?
incredible speed.
See, I said. Okay. Ronald Steele. Ronald? What the hell's going on? You have any idea?
Oh,
friend?
hello there.
He looks up when a smile appears on his lips. You. Wow, this is amazing. I'm certain you were dead. Walks up and touches you with his palm. He looks disappointed. His uncertain gestures suggest he feels nothing just like you. What was I hoping for, anyway? Looks you in the eye. Do you know how unreal it was to survive and keep my sanity with all the psychic stress Maelstrom was generating? A lot of people lost their minds. That was what we saw here, and what happened after at Ankara, on the west side of the dome. Looks you in the eye. You know, I'm locked inside my head right now. From my perspective, it looks like the computer room where Louise locked me in. How ironic. Ginsburg, Aaron Melville.
Come on, don't be shy.
Orange raises his hand as if aiming an invisible gun at you. Holy shit! He looks at his empty hand with a puzzled expression. Do I know you? Yes, I do. Shit! Shit! I should quit with this crap. Those glasses will fry up your brains real quick. He points at his head with an awkward laugh. Where are you now? How should I know where you are? In hell? Together with that bitch Decker and the meticulous bastard. What's his name? Steelman? Yeah, Steele. Throws his hands in the air, and mountains of fist follow them. Fountains of mist, or mountains of fist, possibly. There's identical wording. Fountains of mist or mountains of fist? Mountains of fist. I told you there was an exit. I made it. I found a car. And don't you dare rip on me. I did nothing wrong. I didn't have to die with you in there. His face abruptly goes blank, and his voice sounds dull and dead. Not everyone can escape from Nashville. That means something, doesn't it? He says, gazing at your face with glassy eyes. Clara?
Clara is surrounded with white light and mist, her hands clasped in prayer. She reminds you of an angel statue from some reformist church. Seeing you, her expression changes. She crosses herself, mumbling under her breath.
Spectacles, testicles, wallet, and watch. Get her to calm down. You're not a ghost.
She nods timidly.
Yes, I see. This, both you and this mist, it's all in my head.
Clara never moves her gaze off you.
I remember you saying, find the car and drive away. If I knew you were sacrificing yourself, I would have stayed. If someone frees you from your oath out of generosity or humanity, does that mean the oath shouldn't be fulfilled? I still don't know the answer to it.
You see sorrow and grief in her eyes.
I only know that I'm an awful wrongdoer. I hope you're in heaven now?
I don't know where I am.
Clara sighs heavily.
I see. Why are you appearing to me? Is this some sort of a sign? Do you know about signs?
Signs everywhere, signs.
This is when...
Blocking up the scenery. Losing my mind.
Her voice suddenly becomes deep and thick. She drawls as if her words were being played from a corrupted tape. Clara's face alters subtly, as if it had turned to stone.
Abbott is very kind to me. But his faith is nothing I could get used to.
She says in a dull voice.
Aaron Melville's the only one left here with me. As we float above the maelstrom.
There's no doubt. The funny, scruffy old man standing before you is Aaron Melville, the old man from the gas station. He also recognizes you. A smile wrinkles his already wrinkled face.
Ah, it's you. Long time no see, sweetheart.
Hey now. Don't call me sweetheart, honey cheeks.
Melville examines you closely.
Safe and sound, I see. How'd you pull that off? No one survived where you were heading. The only worst place is the center of the dome, where the spire... well, you know.
The old man points vaguely upwards with his crooked finger.
You're aware, aren't you? The spire is falling. Now the road's closed. As if folks would want to come here anyway. And here we stay like crabs in a barrel.
Crabs in a barrel is not a euphemism I am familiar with.
He thumps his timber leg on the ground, driving the mist away.
Don't think that I'm complaining. My business is on a roll. They come and they go.
Melville's face seems to petrify. He speaks slowly, but flounders anyway.
The gas station can be crowded nowadays. Everybody needs my gas station. Folks went crazy, I tell you. Fighting over nothing.
The old man woefully shakes his head.
Okay. This level doesn't have a map. Well, I did assume that would be the case.
A dazzling supernova-like flash sweeps across your view.
Lars!
The lights, frozen in the desert, start to move.
Morning or
And a
evening.
cloudy funnel begins to slowly trail after them. The funnel spreads out under your feet.
Yeah, things have gotten weird.
Flickering waves of lights drift northward, driven by the winds of a maelstrom. Not just a maelstrom. Maelstrom. Its shadow covers the west and south of the dome, as if it was extinguishing the lights scattered across the desert.
Oh, more people. We got Sebastian von Ulden and Martin Kingsley.
Van Olden looks the same as he did during your first meeting. The same shiny glasses with thin rims, an arrogant expression, and a stopwatch clutched
Not
in
just
his
a
hands.
Maelstrom. Maelstrom with a capital M. So, like, the, or maybe that's his name. Maelstrom Johnson.
He's examining a shred of mist hanging in the air. He's so involved in his research that he doesn't notice you at first. Meeting your eyes, the scientist instantly darts back. Then he comes up to you and begins to palpate your
He's palpating
face,
me, Mom.
hands, and
He's
clothes.
touching me.
His fingers seem to sink in your face. Sebastian Van Olden screws up his lips scornfully.
Yes, of course. A thought form, like the pink mist, I suppose, or any other similar anomaly. As was to be expected.
Tell him Concord's electrical anomalies aren't the threat new employees should be prepared for. As when he still uses his stopwatch. Ask him about the thought form in the pink
The
mist.
white winces.
Have you any grasp of the context? I'm talking about anomalies. The pink mist is obviously a term particular to this field. A thought form. Well, it's a derivative of this pink mist. Eyewitnesses often see people in it.
Quiet down there.
Sebastian smiles dreamily.
I see answers in it myself. Numerological sequences which... But you probably wouldn't understand.
The scientist loses all interest in you, steps aside, and continues to study the mist.
All right, Martin?
A gray-haired man, arms stiff at his sides, stands squinting short-sightedly into the mist. Kingsley is much shorter in person, and older. He notices you.
I never thought we'd meet again. I must thank you. Thanks to your report, I was able to start the evacuation in time.
Martin comes closer. You notice small changes in his uniform. Some of the insignia have been replaced by larger patches resembling military chevrons. Kingsley nods as if anticipating your question.
Yes, the uniform is new, but the man is the same. Head of Magellan Base. I intended to resign after the incident, but Nakamura decided otherwise. I couldn't argue with her.
He surveys the thick mist around you.
One thing's certain. You're standing here. That means you're alive. Yes, I know what this is, partly.
That's good. I'm glad there's one of us.
He looks you in the eye and says,
Scientists on the emulator project have been telling us
I know,
a
you
lot
were having
about
fun
it.
with it last night, Lars.
Not everything, of course. Even they don't know what it is.
Or earlier today.
you smell quartz and sand
You smell
tempered
quartz?
in the sun. But as you try to penetrate the dispersing mist, you can't
Right.
see any desert. The world around you is full of pictures.
I am
They're
definitely
floating
tripping
around
balls.
like visions in some crystal ball. A hall covered with carpets. A golden Cronus logo on the wall among wine-red banners. A power plant. A city filled with lights.
A bunch of
Mercenaries,
mushrooms that I evidently ate.
soldiers, armored vehicles moving through the cool wasteland in the night. The spire of a temple spire, its searchlight shining into the night sky. White corridors of research complexes.
A tab of LSD on your tongue.
The visions fade one after another until only the last remains. The black silhouette of a strange building towering up from the lighter sand. This picture freezes before your eyes, as if giving sense to everything that came before.
Okay, wow, all kinds of people. We've got Abbott, Kimiko Nakamura, Hieronymus Zemeckis, Olivia Reisner, Johann Reisner, Victoria Legrand. Oh, they're all ethereals. Let's start over here. Wow, a servo
mist
shell.
fades
That
away.
model's old.
You see a short, dark-skinned man with a grim face. He's wearing a brightly colored turban. You take a step towards him, and he strides forward as if to block your way.
The ends justify the means, don't they? Have your scientists nothing better to do, Kimiko?
He asks, looking upward. The stranger raises his hand, forcing you to stop. He looks up again.
We have to be like the Soviet Union and Germany in the late 1930s. Mutual favors.
Yeah, that worked
mutual
out so well for
limits.
everybody. The
Parents.
Soviet Union and Germany in the late
We've always
30s.
worked on such terms.
As he finishes speaking, his lips stop. The man in the turban keeps standing there, a lean figure looking angrily upward.
All right, Victoria Legrand.
An unfamiliar woman steps out of the mist and looks at you with the wandering eyes of a mad person.
Wandering eyes of a mad person.
She's wearing a tall, crudely made tin crown painted with gold powder enamel. She smiles, although on her, this expression is more like an evil grin. She begins to prowl around you in a circle, wary eyes locked on your face. While circling around you, she steps into the mist and stops in place, a vague, distant silhouette.
Okay. Johann Reisner.
The fluctuant white slowly settles. A man and a woman stand before you. The woman rolls her eyes discontentedly.
Are you serious? Tuesday, I tell you. Wednesday, I tell you. Thursday. How come I always repeat the same thing? I can't sleep without my pills. You're the man. You're responsible for me. The nightstand. The top drawer. There they are. Oh, my pills. Just say pills before we go to sleep. Is that so difficult, Johann?
She pushes him lightly on the shoulder. The man nods automatically, lost in thought. The woman clasps her hands in front of her chest. She's boiling with frustration.
I am
I
tripping
can't
so many
depend on
balls.
you,
I
can
have no idea
I
what
haven't
most
been
of
able
this
to
is.
relax in years because I have to control the situation for both of us. Johan! Hello! My pills! Pills!
Her shouts break through the man's pondering. He comes to his senses and stares at you in surprise. Then he turns to face his companion.
Olivia, don't shout. Make a habit of putting your pills on your pillow. Anyway, this isn't about the pills.
Olivia falters and points her finger at you.
And what is this? Or who is this? Mind telling me, without the never-ending riddles, Johan?
My name's
Just
Lance.
tell me.
Hi.
Johan gives you an appraising look.
Is it Maelstrom? Hobbit trying out a new device? I don't know, darling. Now, be so kind to take these goddamn pills since you remembered. And if you must yell to it quietly, I have
Yell
a migraine.
quietly. Okay.
The woman flings her arms up fiercely and walks away into the mist. Johan lets her go ahead, then follows.
Okay. Hieronymus Zemeckis. Quite the name.
The fuzzy mist, as if whisked with a mixer, looks like slowly dissolving clouds. A short, chubby little man
I'm
in
not
a
short.
camouflage cap and army shirt steps fussily out of the white. He clasps his hands behind his back and stops a few steps away, scanning you with his gaze. Vivid interest flashes in his eyes. He clears his throat.
I'm out of jokes about death. Or about Mr. Christ. I'm out of jokes about hallucinations. Although hallucinations under the dome aren't any joke, but an everyday reality.
I'm not a hallucination. I'm here.
The man circles you. His glance bounces from your face to your uniform to your shoes.
What's wrong with my shoes?
But you are something else.
He digs me.
So, let's see. A pre-war haircut, all-time uniform, clean and pressed. Shoes aren't worn out, just got them.
He recites with enthusiasm. He frees his plump palm and carefully touches you with one finger.
You are ethereal, but light-tight. You respond to my movements. You are not using an image that's familiar to me. You don't look like anyone I know. And your badge says...
We don't need stinking badges?
He raises himself on tiptoes and fixes his eyes upon your badge.
The name. Of course. Of course. The name.
He flings his arms about and leaves without even saying goodbye. The mist seems to slam shut behind his back, like a pair of winged doors closing.
Abbott. One of the others mentioned Abbott. I don't know who Abbott is.
A wizened old man, long and lean as a scarecrow, leans over to examine you with the curiosity of a vulture. His long, yellow-white robes fall down in waves and rustle quietly. His stony black eyes resemble those of a blind man, but their gaze is fixed on you.
Such remarkable technology.
He says in a low, well-modulated voice. This voice seems to belong to some other person. He smiles, a warm and kindly expression, wildly at odds with the menace in his eyes.
Name your price, and I'll buy your design. But be reasonable. Take time with your answer. Think it through.
With the smile still fixed on his face, he steps back into the mist, never taking his eyes off you.
All right, now she was the one who talked the guy in charge of Magellan Base from resigning. So she's his superior.
You hear heels clicking. A dark figure appears out of the mist before you. It's a woman. You've never met her, but you feel as though you've seen her face 1,000 times. You even know the sound of her voice, although you have no idea where you could have heard it. She looks at you with surprise. Then she frowns pensively and steps closer. She stands so close you can see multicolored reflections in her bionic eye. After poking you to confirm your ethereal nature, she waves her hand left to right. Obviously, she's hoping to disperse you like mist.
Oh, so more like this. Well, remember, I did have the flatulence debuff on me.
Naturally, she fails. The woman chuckles discontentedly and leaves. The clicking of her heels fades quickly away.
Okay, the drugs are wearing off, maybe? It's gone. The relic is gone like it blew up. Let us, throw a save right here. Passage in the rocks. Okay, so something happened. I'm going to assume I have been locked in place for some length of time. I don't know that for a fact, but I'm going to assume that. Yeah, it surely does look like it. Gloop. Oh, that's the, cannot use, well, servo shell. Oh, I have to take off the servo. I don't want to take off my servo shell. It's been so good to me. Out into the rest of the world.
Light. Bright light. You shield your face with your hand. After the darkness of the cave, it feels like broken glass rubbed into your eyes.
No, it doesn't. Doesn't hurt that bad. Trust me. I've had corneal erosion. You wouldn't believe how much that fucking hurts. Don't look it up.
You slowly spread your fingers. At first, you can't see anything. Only a blind whiteness. Gradually, the pulsating light resolves into the outlines of a red rock and a tall white structure at its foot. The screen on your Kairos blinks. The system reports an error while trying to update the built-in atlas. When the maps reload, the icons are gone. Only a single marker indicating your location remains. Well, you're still near Nashville, at least judging by the coordinates.
I think I leveled up. I did. I've leveled up. Hey, you guys. Let's see. Well, let's go ahead and get ourselves up to the next tier of our psionic powers. 7 points left over. How about contraptions? There's travel to exit the dome. Didn't think you could exit the dome. Nashville City Observation Deck Base. Exit. Oh, exit to the dome, not exit the dome. Trash container. Nothing. Trash container. Plastics, presumably useful for crafting later. He appears to be dead, but he's scannable.
danger zone must leave. Encouraged to seek asylum. The city is far enough
Letter on
from-
Project Emulator Stationary. ARAD 3, anti-radiation stuff. Reagent box.
Don't panic. Our scientists and security specialists are closely monitoring the Maelstrom phenomenon. Confidence in our new committee authorities. The problem will be solved as soon as is feasible.
Oh, she has distracting looks, but I can shoot her. We're gonna have combat? No. But I can't speak to her. What's going on? Sergeant. Gives suicidal orders and has distracting looks. Broken Vega Drinks vending machine. Shao soda. And beer. Well, this is the observation deck base. Nashville's observation deck is no less interesting. Besides the equipment housed here, ventilation ducts, weather, sensors, radio communication array, the deck is something of a promotional project. Here at the height of 96 meters, binoculars have been installed, allowing one to view almost every part of the dome in clear detail. One might rightfully claim the East Point observation deck is much more comfortable, but only here can you get a feel on top of it. Yeah, sounds like things worked out really well, which is cool. There's a big box. It's locked. I don't have enough lockpicking. I'm certainly not strong enough. The elevator is out of order. I guess it's a good thing that I can still climb the ladder. We're facing east. Look into the binoculars. The east abounds in signs of civilization. Which game? Is that, Lars? Oh. Yeah, no, it's a perfectly good, functional role-playing game. Are you sure it's not Guild Wars 2? It might be some new... No, I got nothing. Don't tell me I didn't change what I'm streaming. Don't tell me I didn't change the damn message. Because I've done that in the past. Oh, at least I didn't screw that up. Way to mess with my head. Why do you play with my brain? Do you enjoy solitaire? The east abounds in signs of civilization. You can see almost intact roads, rare trade caravans, buildings piled into sentiments. Closer to the north, the sector is a complex of large squat buildings surrounded by a slum belt. If memory serves, the Magellan bunker is hidden there somewhere underground. Oh, I bounce around a lot historically. Guild Wars 2 by far is the game I've played the most on stream, though. But, I mean, I was just playing a buttload of Latro for like a month. So, I bounce around. And I got a deal on this RPG and thought it looked fun, and so far it has been. Of course, it would be great if you could see the underground bunker from the observation platform, but alas, the modern binocular doesn't yet have that capability. You have to rely on imagination. However, you do manage to get a glimpse of a small parking lot surrounded by a concrete fence. At the far end of the site, you can see a stocky building with airtight doors. This must be Magellan. Closer at the complex. This is definitely a city. The buildings look strictly functional. They're crowded close together. Any kind of aesthetic has been sacrificed for durability, although the dome has its own standards. In the slums, the barracks and huts zone on the outside of the city look quite typical. You see crudely fashioned construction materials, smoke from open fires, rags flailing in the wind. All this is separated from the central settlement by a high wall and a sturdy gate. Well, you can't... the reading of all the lore is getting to be too much for you? Oh, that was east. Let's check the north looking. Looking at the binocular. Observation platforms located in the northern sector. It borders as well as closer objects are clearly visible from the binocular. Judging from the complex road junction nearby, there was once a major settlement there. Behind the ruins, a smooth, long arc rises from the sand. It doesn't look like the creation of human hands. Look at the road junction. A couple of years ago, you would have seen scurrying workers, asphalt pavers, and road rollers. The junction would have been part of the newly developed infrastructure in the northern sector, but now the spire has collapsed and distributes no cargo. No one needs a modern city with a cargo terminal, storage facilities, and wide roads in these parts anymore. Sometimes I get like that, Lars, where there's a game I know I want to play, but I open it up, and I sit there and I look at it for a couple of minutes, and I go, I just don't want to right now. It'd be nice if there was a switch you could tune what game you're interested in. Oh, I want to play more of this today. Click. And off you go. At first you think it's a small mountain range. The regular squat dune emerges from the sand and stretches along the horizon, sometimes hiding behind cliffs and hills, but after refocusing the binoculars, you can see the structure on the surface. Fragments repeating in a strange but perceptible pattern are either an object or construction details. Try to look at the dome. Somewhere in the sands of the northern sector, far beyond the arc overlooking the dunes, you can see the border of the dome. Its shimmering is barely visible beyond the shimmering of the warm air, and it will never let you out. Wow. Prevents. Let's try looking west. The only highway leads west. The hot air rises from the white, shimmering salt marshes, distorting the image. The light stripes, barely visible against the background of white sand, precisely delineate the contours of an object, something too rectangular to be part of the landscape. The C12-Nashville object has to be somewhere there, or rather, what's left of it. I was at C12. And I just left the object, or what was left of it, because it blowed up. The salt marshes. Snow is not uncommon in the desert. Polar altitudes and high plateaus have no shortage of frozen water, but the sparkling white spots you see in the west are not snow. Salt marshes cover a significant portion of the sector, instantly disappearing behind the barely visible border, shining in the air above. Perhaps there was once an inland salt lake here, maybe the result of some large-scale forefathers' experiment. It's unknown. Zoom in on the mysterious stripe. At first, it seems like you're looking at a reflection of the salt marsh, hanging out in the hot air, but the object seems too accurate to be a mirage, too massive and cut out. It's difficult to say what it is. Objects on the west of the dome haven't been thoroughly studied, and plans to explore them have been postponed to the far future. Will people ever get there? Calling the route to C12-Nashville, you point the binocular at its ruins. You can't see much from this vantage, but you're able to make out the neighborhood and even its parking lot. That's the parking lot. Fragments of concrete and rock cover the parking spots, turrets and security booths disabled. I disabled those maybe years ago. It's not clear. Time has gone all funny in my head. Abandoned trucks, all crumpled, torn to shreds, scattered throughout the asphalt, which was beginning to grow. There are abandoned cars and minivans outside the parking lot and cargo area. Along the road leading to Nashville base. Looks like Curiosity brought a lot of people there after the incident and destroyed them. However, in addition to the object destroyed by the Maelstrom and abandoned, you spy some other points of interest. Alright, let's, oops. Nope. Curse you. And then this should be south. This binocular mounted on a rigid tripod, pointing south to the central sector of the dome. It's hot in the south, and almost everything is drenched in sunlight. Red sands are covered with white spots. The binocular lens flash with merry flecks of light. Only after you focus do you understand there's nothing merry about the view. There are bright pieces of the spire everywhere, within the dunes where it fell during the incident. On the borders of the dunes, you see squat buildings. Looks like the roadside picnic cafe is still intact. Almost directly behind it rises the dark, funnel-shaped silhouette of Maelstrom, and through it you can faintly see the ruins of Concord Station. Cafe. The roadside picnic seems to have prospered since the incident. You see new buildings, a cleared road, movement, lights in the window. The place at the very edge of the Maelstrom zone of influence, but neither the residents nor the guests seem to be too concerned. The ruins of the spire. When Maelstrom got unleashed, the spire broke down. The cyclopean structure collapsed, partly sliding into the dune to its foot, partly falling inward. Large pieces of the structure littered the sand dunes from the miles around Concord. The dark, ominous mass of Maelstrom cloaks the field of view from this direction, but you can occasionally see the structures through rare gaps. That's all that's left of Concord Station. Partially demolished by the same Maelstrom, partially destroyed by the fallen debris of the spire. You refocus the binocular to capture Maelstrom in the frame. The sight is overwhelming. Slowly, even lazily, it spins, chains of greenish lightning periodically flashing across the surface. What can man do against such power? Alright, well, we have done all of our looking. Oh, that's right, that's taken. This is what we want. The elevator to back down. So, there is the exit to the dome. And that's what we want, I think. We'll leave this area behind. There were a couple of armed people, but I had no talk-to options. Can I use the car? You lean closer to the radio embedded in the car's console. The emergency message is now coming through louder, but not any clearer. However, you could try to adjust the frequency. Rotate the tuning knob. Tuning knobs! It is 1976 after all. I don't know if any of you guys have ever actually touched a radio with a tuning knob or not. The emergency message is now coming through loud and clear. Radio chitters. Attention, this is not a drill. The area affected by Maelstrom is Megalo Anomaly Scenario C6C is currently taking place. Remaining in the yellow sector is prohibited. Employees currently deployed to the danger zone must leave the area immediately following standard evacuation protocol. All newcomer citizens are encouraged to seek asylum. The city is far enough from the yellow sector to be considered safe under current conditions. Distant wailing of emergency sirens can be heard through the speakers. The announcer keeps talking. Don't panic. Our scientists and security specialists closely monitoring Maelstrom phenomenon. Any registered movement of psi fronts will be closely monitored. We urge you not to spread false rumors about victims among the population. Maintain confidence in our new committee authorities. The problem will be solved as soon as feasible. Attention, this is not a drill. Begins again. Hit the dashboard. Speakers fall silent for a moment, then begin to cackle and skr. Crackle and spur with double force. The text of the announcement is still barely audible. So there were people up there wandering around, armed, but they didn't want to talk. So, until I find out what the hell's going on, maybe I'll just travel to the dome. I will leave this location. Magellan. Okay, so here's the whole map. Maelstrom, salt marshes, mirror. That's essentially where I started. That was the gas station. That's the Nashville facility parking lot. Well, let's see if we can find anything there, and then we can head over there. It's 6.6 kilometers away. 2 hours and 11 minutes.
You wander through the desert and suddenly fall, fainting for a moment. A quiet hum, like that of a huge bell, fills your head. The space around you is again hidden behind waves of fog. But now it's different. This even white haze conceals everything
Not a purple
unnecessary,
haze? Around my
highlighting
head?
the important. In the northeast, a flickering column of blue light can be seen beating straight up through the clouds, like the beam of a huge lighthouse directed into the sky. Without taking your eyes off the beam, you struggle to get up. Each step requires great effort and your head is splitting. These are not the effects of sunstroke, and what you're seeing is no mirage. This is something else. Something is happening inside your head.
Yeah, it's probably all of the hallucinogenics I evidently took that kicked in about 15 minutes ago. Let's see, keep going no matter what, gather my strength and keep going. I'll improvise to improve my condition.
Scanning the ground nearby, you find a small, dusty plant with fleshy leaves. You saw something like this in Scout Messenger in '73. According to a magazine article, the juice of this plant helps relieve dizziness and pain. You chew a couple of leaves, and you really do feel better.
Placebo effect.
The headache and hum soon pass. All that remains is a slowly dissipating fog and the blue glow fading away in the distance. You've seen this fading glow before, but from a different angle. The explosion that flashed through the clouds pushed apart by Maelstrom. This strange beam of light is what remains. It must mean something. Maybe there to the northeast is where your path.
Well, that's where I was
lies.
planning on going. But I'm going to go there first. The fog is unexpectedly dense for the desert. Naked branches loom up ahead and leaves rustle beneath your feet. Crooked black trees bend close to a narrow path leading down the hill. You descend the wet, slippery path, find yourself on the shore of a small, dark lake. What? The water is frozen like black mist-shrouded mirror. The fog is even thicker down here. Your feet sink in wet, dark sand. The quiet here makes you uneasy. Wander the shore for a while, check your condition. Take a look at the deep center of the lake. Look closely into the deep center of the lake. Well, those two sound familiar. The lake has got me a little bit concerned. You search for the path you came down. It's nowhere to be seen. The fog has become too thick. After several minutes, return to the shore. Okay. Check my condition. You quiet your mind and realize with satisfaction that you're okay. Well, if I'm okay, I don't need to sit down and calm myself. I'll wander the shore for a while. A rusted-out motorcycle with 2 flat tires stands at the water's edge. I cannot dismantle, so I'll keep on. Continue past the rusted carcass. Raise your eyes to look at the foggy shore. This place is very empty and lonely, but you're not afraid. Yet. Afraid. Ooh, sanity. Oh, you can lose sanity. Nifty. Well, I've wandered the shore for a while. Check my condition. Take a look at the deep center of the lake. As you look into the blackness, the deepest part of the lake, the fog seems to disperse a little, and the silhouettes of trees and bushes become more distinct in your peripheral vision. But the longer you gaze into the deep, the stronger a weird sinking feeling grows inside you. Check my condition again. I seem to be okay. Can I go back? The thick log still blankets everything. Thick fog still blankets everything, but against all odds, you make it back to the hill. Pushing your way through the host of branches that grasp at your clothes like skeletal hands, you return to the path and scurry back up the hill, doing your best not to look. Suppose I can actually travel there, can I? I can, okay. The parking lot. Strong psychic irradiation here. +3 psyche, -30 resilience. Okay. Make another save here. Because this is all because this is the first save after the point in the story where I started tripping balls. see what we've got. All right. Seriously, I wasn't tripping minor balls either. I was tripping major balls. That's probably not great. Where am I? There I am. Search the metal box. Packaged water. We've had some sort of apocalyptic destruction in this area, so, you know, water seems to me like it might be good. That's locked. We've got more people. Oh, they've got lots of stuff. We've got more potentially unfriendly people. Oh, that's right, the manhole. Any danger down in the manhole area? This is one of the areas I was at earlier before I went into some sort of temporal fugue state. And, well, what I was referring to as tripping balls. Ladder, door, cell door, truck parking lot. There were more ladders before. Somebody's been shacking up in here. Well, I don't want to go looking for trouble unnecessarily. The hatch won't open. Seems like it's pinned down by something. All right, that explains what's going on. We've got people over there, right? All right, I think I probably should leave this area alone and try and head to the northeast where the base is. Yeah, that guy's glowing blue and that person's glowing green. I'm going to go out on a limb and say glowing people are probably not my friends. A great big honking bat that I can't use. A baseball bat with nails. I don't have enough deftness. Now let's head back out into the dome. And head towards Magellan. About 30 kilometers, that's 18 miles. Take 10 hours. Walking through the desert, you notice some movement not far away. From here, it's difficult to see what happens there. Only rising clouds of dust are visible. Come up, try to pass by quietly. I can't do criminal, reconnaissance, or survival. I don't have the skills. I will try to pass quietly by. Whatever's happening is not your concern. You're trying to sneak by, but you understand that you didn't succeed. You were noticed. 1. Barrens. Location located. Location noted. Something like that. Oh, that's probably not great. A guard Wolper. So I'm thinking maybe we've had some kind of, I don't know, badness happen? Like mutations and stuff? Just guessing. number of wolpers. They are evasive. Fortunately, I'm a psi. I have psychic powers. I'm gonna get a little food and water into me. Let's see. Uncooked chicken eggs. Probably not the best choice. Smokes? Nah. Canned ham. Fatty food and heartburn. I'm okay with that. And coffee. There's the transit, so I have to go through. And I'm probably at some point going to have to get the aggro for one or more of these things. But if I can sneak through, I will. Why push my luck, you know? As I like to say. 1.4 kilometers. Magellan Station parking lot. Well, this is where the hint was that I should go and where I was planning on going anyway. Trippin' 2. No longer trippin' balls. These things here look, you know, functionally technological and stuffs. There's a checkpoint. Nobody in. There's a hog. Some sort of special vehicle. A person I can talk to, Elwood Mason. Hi, Elwood, please. You're the first person I've met since I was tripping balls. The black with the dreamy smile is talking to himself in a slurred voice. The entire surveillance service. And the boss's chair is empty so far. I wish that was my chair. That'd be fun. Ignoring you, he takes a long pull from his flask. If you're watching this, you must be. Ignoring you, he takes a long pull from his flask. Okay. He's not feeling especially chatty. Inventory. Any new data? Let's see. Quests. My story. While roving the wilderness, you had a vision. Judging by it, your path lies in... Oh, Junktown. Interesting. And Maelstrom signals. Visions have not entirely vanished. Now some strange forces drawing you to a city north of the dome. What do we got in the Codex? Ricardo Alexander. That's one of the guys I scanned on account he was dead. Well, it appears that, in fact, this is not my goal. My goal is actually in Junktown. Let's head into Junktown. It's just outside. That's where the vision told me to. Junktown slums. Welcome to Junktown slums! And the abandoned industrial park is teeming with rat holes. Junktown, a settlement which emerged at an undeveloped industrial site, is no exception. Not even the locals know every way in or out. Use these paths with caution. A person could get shivved on the sheriff's front porch in this place. From Duck and Take Cover, Survival Guide, 1977. It's a junior in high school. Or possibly a senior, depending on, you know. If it was late 1977, then I was a senior.
The hum in your head that's accompanied you from the moment you left Nashville and had almost fallen silent since suddenly returns. Barely able to stay on your feet, you look around. The road took you to a strange slum of rusty iron roofs. Above them, you can clearly see a faintly glowing column of blue light, just like in the first vision that visited you shortly after you awoke.
I've been playing computer games for 40 years. I bought an Apple II Plus in 78 or 79. Might have been 80. 79, I think. And I bought it to play computer games. So I've been playing computer games that long.
Somewhere in these slums is the unknown, but apparently important goal.
And being able to stream, I actually find fun. It's cool when I get, you know, when there's an active chat, streaming is way more fun. And even streaming, if there's just a couple people there, is more, it feels more engaging to me, and it's more fun than just sitting around my fat ass gaming. Even though I'm sitting around on my fat ass gaming. So that doesn't really change. More stuff. Alright, what am I looking for? Maelstrom signals. I've reached the borders of Junktown. As soon as you got to Junktown, visions returned again. The image that flashed your eyes recognized one of the buildings in Junktown. It remains to understand why your consciousness is so persistently leads you to it. It's Roy Oldie. Well, let's take a quick. There's the welcome. Junktown election coming soon. Vote. Got people. Let's see if I can see the building I want to head to.
And we are all fresh.
That one? Probably. Probably that one. Well, let's talk to Roy.
Come on in. The city's already under...
Soldier's face is wrapped in a neckerchief to protect it from sand, and his eyes are hidden behind sunglasses. His entire uniform is coated in desert dust, and the letters on the metal badge are barely readable. Roy Oldie, guard.
I'm listening.
Looks at you carefully, even with a little respect. Are you from the city? It's already under quarantine, but being silver, you ought to get a room. Inquire about the quarantine. He gestures towards the horizon. They say Maelstrom began to expand, which hadn't happened for a long time. That's why quarantine was declared. Citizens must remain in the city, and non-citizens. And those who didn't have time to relocate, all here in Junktown. Fortunately, we have the emulator. To be completely honest, I don't really believe this thing works, but it's better than nothing, right? Welcome. He shakes your hand.
Later.
Thanks, Roy. That was mighty welcoming and helpful. Katarina Belitskaya. Sorry, Katarzyna. Lars, is Katarzyna actually a name? Belitskaya sounds like a name. Katarzyna?
A dirty and exhausted-looking woman in a white wing uniform rushes up to you. She clutches your hand in a death grip.
You're my last hope. Please.
I'm her last hope. Evidently she thinks I'm Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Please, please, please.
The woman stares at you imploringly.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Katarzyna Belitskaya,
Katarzyna.
relic registration specialist, is printed on her faded badge. She hugs you so fiercely that for a second you forget how to breathe.
Thank you.
Gee, a hot Russian woman running up to hug me? Alrighty, where do I sign up?
Nobody will, and I'll just die. Die here, amongst these.
Katarzyna pulls herself together.
I've been banished from the city. From Magellan. They took my Selectron and stripped me of my citizenship. No one wants to help me. Everyone's afraid they'll end up like me. All because of that damn Nakamura and her loss.
Yeah. Of course, it's 1977 now. Who knows how much things have changed in 45 years. She's been banished from the city.
Belitskaya looks upon you with new hope.
But you'll help me for sure, won't you? I need to get to Magellan, and you can lead me there. You have a Selectron. I see it. It's hanging right there by your belt.
That's not my Selectron, baby. Return to her request and asks what specifically she wants from you. Ask how they could possibly banish from someone from Magellan. Ask why she lost her citizenship. I know who Nakamura is. That's the one who was in charge of the guy who sent me out on the mission that led to me tripping balls and getting stuck in time. Why'd you lose your
The
citizenship?
White's face falls, and she hurriedly looks away.
It's these new rules they've enacted. Commit any offense at all, and you're no longer a full rights member of society.
Well, I don't have conviction, so I can't find out what question I have. But I have charm. I can calm Katarzyna down. Whatever she did, I won't judge. Of course, I'll actually judge.
Belitskaya exhales sharply through her nose.
I forged the documents, that's all. Documents. Okay, frankly, I've been forging them the whole time. It's nothing big, just bumping up the rarity ranking on relics. A lot of relics. So I would get more money.
She frowns.
In other words,
please don't think I'm that kind of person. My boss taught me to do it before the incident. He talked me into it. Told me it was the right thing to do.
Yes, I was there when he told you that. But that was before the accident. This is after the accident, and you've kept doing it. What do you really want from me?
Taps the Selectron hanging by your belt.
Please, guide me to Magellan. I just need to get to the station.
I'll need some time to think about it. To think about it before I tell you no.
The White is on the verge of tears.
Yes, of course. I'll be here. Where else can I go?
Take care, Katarzyna. Perhaps I could buy you a vodka later. Da? I gained some exploration experience. Got Oliver Kidd. We got a number of people here. Well, we can't talk to everyone all at once. See if we can get ourselves over to the place we're supposed to be going.
Impossible to avoid. But what if the church?
That's it, I think. That place is it. Pretty sure.
Everything we ever expected.
All right. Well, here we are in lovely and scenic downtown Junktown.
Will be yours if only you attend our service.
Ah, Reverend Santiago.
Are always open. We'll be waiting for you. My dearly
Transition the emulator door.
Brothers and sisters.
For psychically gifted employees, like me, there's a chance you will experience multiple side effects of unclear etiology in runtime mode. Therefore, it is recommended you undergo regular examinations in the project's medbay. In case of a critical performance drop, contact HR department immediately. Take my word of advice. Take it to heart. Never, ever, ever contact HR for any reason. I had the vice president of research and development at Apple Computer tell me that HR stood for human remains. Okay? Emulator project, my story, we've got an update. While wandering around Junktown, I found the emulator lab. All right. Let me talk to Adolf Schmitz. Mr. Schmitz?
How can I help?
Tall man in a spotless black uniform takes a step towards you and greets you with a brief, firm handshake. Adolf Schmitz, Chief of Security Services for the Emulator Project. There was one of the little pop-up lore things that show up while you're loading in. Said, you know, if you have any problems, talk to HR. And my response was, the vice president of of research and development at Apple Computer once told me that HR stood for human remains. So under no circumstances should you ever contact HR about a problem. Black points to a poster that reads, maintain sterilization regimen while on site. His face seems vaguely familiar. He also said the two following lines. I don't give a shit about Microsoft, and fuck Adobe. Jean-Louis Gasset was his name. Take a closer look, try to remember where I might have seen him. Ask him what sterilization regimen means, ask him what the emulator project is, tell him about your headaches and strange vision. Take a closer look and try to remember where you might have seen him. His bearing, his clean, ironed black uniform, the name Adolf Schmitz, Ulster vague memories, of course. Schmitz served in Concord before the incident. This was the man who stopped you by the turnstile and sent you to security to talk to Kingsley. Remind him that you two of you met at Concord. Schmitz nods slowly. Of course, I remember. I've been working in Concord since it opened. If you're from under the dome, we definitely met. That's only logical. He frowns while plucking at a dust particle which had the audacity to stick to his sleeve. Remind him of your encounter, September 14th, 1976. Let's see, September 14th, 1976. That would have been junior year.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully.
You? But there was an incident at Nashville. Everyone there was killed. Tight grin appears on his face. I don't believe you. We get many insane people coming around here. Some from the church who want to worship Maelstrom. Some who think Emulator can help find their missing families. Are you one of those who claim to have survived Maelstrom? Come on in, then. Talk to Henrietta. She'll examine you and reach a verdict, but for God's sake, put some booties over your shoes.
Good luck.
Alright, what's in there? Bathrooms. I don't have to go right now. I've traveled through time, but strangely, I don't have to take a bowel movement. Too much information? Maybe. Let's see, what do we got? I'm here. Adolf Schmitz, we just talked. In there, we've got Sebastian von Ulden. Over there, Karma Ishtwani. Oh, there was somebody else I was... Oh, Henrietta Russo. She's all the way down at the end of the hall. Go talk to Henrietta.
A lean woman is hunched over the console, hair pulled back in a tight knot. As the doors close behind you with a quiet hiss, she turns briskly to face you.
You have an appointment, an examination, am I right? Know this. You must submit to a blood test and show me your Selectron as your ID. Some sly dogs have been coming around twice for an extra 100.
Her voice is firm and loud, and she's spinning a ring of keys on her finger, one that was sticking out of the console a moment ago.
I will spin my keys into my hand.
The badge on her white coat reads, Henrietta Russo, Project Director. The coat itself is flecked with several stains in different colors. Russo follows your gaze down to her soiled coat.
It's soda. This crap doesn't wash off.
Okay, tell her you found the body of one of Ricardo Alexander near Nashville. Ask her what the place is. Say you were hallucinating and saw a blue beam over the slums. Say you slept in stasis in a dream. You rose up in the air under the dome, and here in the north something flashed. Ask her what you need to attend an examination.
Henrietta is rifling through her pockets.
What do you need? Anyway, first we have to verify that the examination is actually necessary.
I don't want her to think I'm crazy.
That's why you have to pass the simplest test right now. I have to be certain you really cross paths with Maelstrom.
The White explains, taking a notebook out of her pocket.
So, first question. Where did you contact Maelstrom?
Russo taps pen on pad, impatiently.
Answer evasively that it happened while you're traveling across the desert. Tell her about the cave in Nashville and the shining red ball. I'm going to tell the truth because I'm honest, damn it.
The White gives you a skeptical look but makes no comment. Russo writes something down and turns the page.
Second question. Describe your interaction with Maelstrom.
Tell her it was really scary. I was haunted by nightmares. Tell her I was surrounded by white fog and saw and spoke with other people while in the mist. Tell her you felt as if something was filling your consciousness. I'm going to go with the white fog.
The pen stops in Henrietta's fingers.
Okay. You were navigating the fog and talking to them.
She shuts the notebook.
Let's get down to your examination. Stand here. I'm going to prepare special parameters for the scan. This will take some time.
Russo puts the scanner back on the computer console and studies you, deep in thought.
I could use a smoke after that. And I don't
Wow!
smoke, by the way.
She says.
We must have... You know. Now she needs a smoke.
Henrietta walks a full circle around you and stops in front of you again.
What can I say? That was the best 100 we've ever spent.
Wow. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Your vitals are downright incredible. The sensors are off the scale. Even the FUBs don't show these metrics. And unlike them, your brains haven't turned into mush, supposedly. I'm going to say this now. I need you to become part of this project. What do you say to that?
The white is looking at you expectantly.
Ask why I should help her.
Henrietta snaps her fingers.
A fair question. However, the point is you're not helping me, you're helping all mankind. We're all locked up in here with everything that implies. Maelstrom unstable, politicians squabbling, and communication with the outside world still unavailable.
She catches your eyes.
I have faith in the emulator project. I believe it will protect us from Maelstrom wandering across the desert and frying people's brains. I believe we can use that force for good, but I'm short of both resources and manpower. That's why I need help from someone with a unique psychic field. You could be a critical piece of the scientific jigsaw puzzle. When we solve it, we'll get the answers to all our questions. Moreover, it's about profit and prestige. You can't imagine how many doors will fly open to an employee of the emulator project. You'll have money, fame, and all the power you could possibly need. And you're still asking why? I call it the ultimate offer.
Reply that I'm not interested in saving
So,
mankind.
do you accept?
Ask how other factions are dealing with the Maelstrom issue. Agree you'll help in order to clear up the mess people at Nashville made. Agree you'll help because of your own motivations. Agree you'll help and destroy anyone who gets in my way. Agree you'll help under the condition that your name and identity will remain secret. Wow. Agree you help on it that you receive all the praise and accolades when it's over. Agree you'll help, but you'll be serving the interests of whichever faction follows the most reasonable policy, even if it isn't the committee. Agree you'll help, but only because you want to merge into and become one with the Maelstrom. Probably not that. Reply that you're not ready to answer yet.
Our honest work will make the world a better place.
I'll try and I'll help in order to clean up the mess the people at Nashville made. Ask how other factions are dealing with the Maelstrom issue.
She assumes a mocking expression.
They aren't. The emulator is the only project aiming to reign in Maelstrom. All the others, Carmine Heights, the Phalanx, the Church, are sitting pretty. They're busy with their little political squabbles while the scientists are tilting at windmills.
All right, I'll help, but for my own reasons.
The white suppresses a chuckle as she shakes your hand.
Oh, you're so mysterious. Motivations.
Well, reasons.
Everyone's got their own motivations. Even me.
Russo nods toward the bulletproof glass.
As we agreed. Let's get straight to the point.
Henrietta gestures for you to come over. She stops near the control panel to examine a massive construction hanging from the ceiling of the main hall. She fixes you with her gaze.
Long story short, in 1976, the incident started in Nashville. Maelstrom broke free of the excavation zone, destroyed the spire, and killed a lot of people. And those who weren't killed outright had their brains fried into non-existence. If that was an experiment, I'd call it a total fail.
Russo raises her head to study the green lights high up under the complex's ceiling with acute fascination.
Everybody was in a panic all that year, waiting every day for the end of the world. But Nakamura was able to overcome the disturbances and evacuated the bigger part of the survivors here. She offered autonomy to anyone who wanted it, those from Phalanx and Carmine Heights, and decided that something must be done about Maelstrom in the center of the dome. Thus, the emulator was born.
Henrietta clasps her hands behind her back and walks around the room.
Things went quite well over the next 2 years. Maelstrom showed no activity, and all the trials were right on schedule. But several months ago, our sensors detected that Maelstrom had begun to grow, to become stronger. From my own calculations, I realized we needed the help of all those different people. Someone needs to search for relics for the emulator, and help with the coding. Otherwise, the Nashville megalo anomaly will overtake us. It will be too late.
The White clenches her teeth and shakes her head. It's the first time you've ever seen her this serious.
That's why they're here. Spencer, Abbott and his nutty buddy, Santiago.
Nutty buddy.
And of course, Karma. Our relationship with her has been sour since day one. Kimiko sacrificed a lot for them to be here. And I only lost control over the project. You know, I would shove my ambitions and call it a day, if that was of any use to the emulator, but...
She points downwards. From the edge of the balcony, you can see a mishmash of burnt wires and the melted remains of some relic.
Now it's all gone to hell. The price has already been paid, but there were no results. The trials were unsuccessful. That's why I need help. And that's why I believe you're twice as valuable an employee.
Russo sinks into the chair.
Told you! Welcome aboard. I forgot to add that this Titanic is barely staying afloat, and there's another iceberg dead ahead. But we can still sail through, if we really do give it our best.
Well, she's sincere, but not particularly filling me with feelings of optimism.
Henrietta is sitting behind the console, visibly tired. She's taken her shoes off, and you can see bright green socks peeping out from the edge of the console.
I am a bit short of breath from that pretentious speech, but hopefully you can understand we have the same goals now. And it's time for us to discuss the
Should I ask her about her socks?
Shall we?
She waits for you to agree.
I'm listening.
Great. Let's begin.
Henrietta opens her notebook. She runs her eye rapidly over the lines.
Past trials were unsuccessful. That's why it's so important to do everything right, and get the system ready for the new trials and a test run as soon as possible. Let's see what we have on that list.
Biting her lip, Russo checks her notepad.
Let's start with the driver. It's not installed. Karma Ishtwani is responsible for it. Her door is next to mine, by the way. Find out what's going on. Next, our transcriptor got fried during the recent trials. The new one is supposed to arrive via Phalanx caravan, but nothing's come yet. Go poke Don Spencer. He must know something about it. Spencer usually hangs out with his caravan buddies in the market square.
She makes a note in her notebook.
Yes, you should also talk to those nutty church people. Santiago, he usually preaches near the city entrance. Promised me a special version of the teleglasses to connect to the emulator. And what you suppose he's given me so far?
Nothing.
Nothing. I still haven't seen those damn glasses.
The White seems to be losing her temper a little bit at a time. She rubs her forehead tiredly and sets her notebook aside.
Everything isn't going smoothly for us either. Since the tests, the system's power supply hasn't been restored. Talk to technician Clayton Montgomery on Magellan's reactor level. I almost forgot. The emulator needs anomaly essence to work. This essence can be found in various parts of the dome, but we don't have a lot of time. Do you know about the picnic neutral zone?
I do.
Well, that place in the swamps is full of anomalies. Talk to the people out there. They'll have essence for sure.
Henrietta grows absent, perhaps reviewing what she said in case she's forgotten anything important. Russo looks at you.
So, this is what we're going to do. I'm staying here to prepare the trial program and make sure no one fiddles with the emulator. You handle everything else. Better start with Magellan. I have a feeling they've got some hidden agenda, okay?
I'll give her a nod and move away.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully.
And that seems like a good place for me to save. Tripping 3. And calling it an evening. I mean, I'd call it a potato, but that wouldn't make any sense. So, I'm going to call it here. I should be back tomorrow. I might take tomorrow off, but I should be back tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Early morning for Lars. Thank you, Lars. Nice having you back. Probably for more of Encased. I can never remember the name. Encased, I think. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me. I hope you found some of it entertaining and amusing. I should be back, if not tomorrow, the day after at the usual time. I hope you have a great rest of your evening or day, Lars. I should be back tomorrow, probably Thursday or Wednesday, maybe one of the two. Have a great night. Take care. I'll catch you next time, and ciao for now.
Please handle relics carefully.